Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 ticker review. Right, let's get right into it. QS, QuantumScape Corp. We were playing this for a bounce, and the bounce had played out, although less than what we had hoped to see. We were anticipating a bounce to 0.382, which ultimately I'm still thinking we're still going to get there, but we did reject off of 74.50. Wasn't exactly a noticeable level where and why we rejected from it. However, there was a signal for why we rejected. First, potential reversal candle indecision doji at the top of a trend and highest volume, followed by bears, and then we tested hourly 8, and this was your exit signal. So for new traders, sometimes it's hard because as you exit here, you will see the next candle is up. But trust your TA, and it's always okay to buy back in higher. And remember, it's all about making money. It's not about nailing the bottom or nailing the top. Now, we are bouncing off of this. I'm not too sure why this volume shelf has a big spike here, but we are basing out. Yeah, somewhat makes sense on this level. Let's see if this goes any further back. Yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah, so this does come back here. Actually, maybe this is just drawn. Can be drawn to here. It's a little bit better, or even a bit lower. Would make sense, more sense over here. Yeah. So we're in that previous supply or demand zone, and it would make sense to see a reversal from here, which will allow us to continue. And we can see that there's this low bear volume comparing to the bounce. We'll be looking to get back into it coming Monday. Give me 1 sec. Let me just make a quick note of this. Yeah, gonna be on top watching on Monday. We'll be looking for an entry. And one after, next ticker, SQ square. What a perfect rejection off of a trend line. And that was the first thing this morning. No, yesterday morning. Oh, because we're past 12 now. I'm thinking, how can this be yesterday? Anyways, first thing Friday morning, went up, gapped up, went to touch the trend line, then rejected. So chart is still looking bull. We are bouncing from the hourly 8. Made a nice higher low here. The 80 is a little bit extended from the 8 exponential. So we're gonna need to see a sideways action going into Monday. Not exactly an ideal entry right now. The 80, we're gonna need that higher low. And let's take a look where the higher low would be coming in at. Would make sense to come back to the GP. There is support and previous resistance here. Yep. Next, SKLZ. Bouncing from the 88. What does it already look like? Relative low bear volume. Bounce from the support of 21.25. Chart's looking good. Setting up for the next leg up. AAL. Scouting for an entry on this play here on Wednesday early, but as I pointed out in the trading chat, we saw a break of the previous high. However, immediately after, we saw bear coming in, pushing us right back down. So that was a red flag. So I decided not to take the trade. Then from there, we can see that it's a fake out, breakout, fake out, and came back, just kept making lower lows. We are still making lower low, bouncing from support. Chart not looking so good. Formed the bull divergence on the 30-minute. No. Yes, we did. Very minor. But chart's not looking so good. This is not gonna be one of the top plays. Obviously weaker comparing to the market. If we don't hold the current low, we're looking at first level would be 1428. Then we'll be looking at a gap fill down to 1356. ZM basing out nicely. Decreasing bear volume on the daily. Rejected from the 88 a few days ago. Low risk play here, guys. Potential of reversal. So if you were to play this, or if you are playing this, just know that, let's say that you entered either today or yesterday kind of thing. There is a chance of us going back to gap fill. And I haven't seen many charts that generally when it's in a trend towards that gap, it doesn't fill it. I mean, sometimes it's off by a few pennies. But just know that there's a chance we're going to go back to gap fill. So don't play with size. You want to make sure you have at least, at the very minimum, one more entry at the gap of 325.85. But it is a low risk play. Plenty of upside. We're looking at 42% drop. So, and this is, I'm actually seeing a wedge here now, descending wedge. Right there. Makes sense. Yeah, so descending wedge. If we were to bounce from here, can expect a rejection at about 380. Not an ideal long play yet. Amazon. I think we saw some action on it today. Actually, last 3 days, plenty of actions. Big upper wick, reversal candle, big upper wick again right after breaking the 88. If I remember correctly, this was, yeah, popped up, and then the rest of the day just faded until the last couple hours. No, last hour and early this morning. Seeing an increase in bull volume, which is really good, because we do not want to see something like in the wedge, and then all of a sudden we're seeing increasing bear volume, just breaks through everything. I think I'm taking a look at this because NVIDIA play is still here. So we're back on for NVIDIA. It has sold on this break, but looking at it, we made a lower high or a higher low, and if we do break bull on this after that fake out, there's plenty of upside potential. Back on top watch. Anyways, back to Amazon. Sorry for jumping around, guys. Action starting to come in. Same idea. If we see a breakout, there's a lot of upside. However, there is another potential upper trend line that's been keeping us down, which we may need to adjust now that based on the last rejection. Let's see how that looks. If we go from here to doesn't work. Okay. Yeah. Keep an eye out for that upper trend line, guys. Amazon is still on top, remaining on top watch. Airbnb, we started seeing some action on it, on it. Sure. Double bottom bounced. Seeing a little bit of continuation, but very choppy. Green, red, green, red. Holding the 4-hour 8, that's nice. Somewhat noticeable bear volume. Not an ideal, no clear signs. Now when I drew this wedge, it's not clear yet because we need to see where the top is, and could very well be right here, right now. So then you'd be looking at a wedge like that. So, which is actually very short term. We would see a break very, yeah, on the short term within like a week. But just keep an eye out on where we're going to be topping out. There is no volume on the daily. Very low volume. Big move is coming. Remaining on top watch. SCR, we are seeing nice follow through. Yesterday was no, that's not a daily. No red flags, guys. Very nice follow through. Earnings coming up. The only thing to be cautious about is earnings on the 13th. Increasing bull volume, a bit of a stall today, continuing to go up. Bear divergence on the daily. So only minor red flags. Holding the RD8. Use the RD8 as your guide. If we lose and close under it, that's your exit. Remember, guys, this is a relatively small company with minimal flows. So when the chart moves, it will move in either direction. What I'm looking for is if we were to pull back, let's see, we don't know where the top is yet, but let's say from this impulse move. And let's also see what from this bottom move looks like. Impulse move doesn't really line up depending on how long it takes. Might make sense for entry around here. But yeah, I don't think the move is done yet. If you're in the trade, use the RD8 as your guide. Suncor, I think we had a bit of a red day today. Yeah, stall day. Closed right on the previous high support. Decreasing bear volume. Only potential red flag is the bear divergence. Oh, never mind, it's decreasing, so it's not a bear divergence. No red flags, guys. Holding the 4-hour 8, bouncing from it. Looks really nice. I'm in this trade from a common perspective and looking for long term. Ultimately, the target I have in mind is, let's go to the weekly here, this upper zone here. This upper zone here. So you can see this going back, it just continues the resistance, support, broke under it a few times. But it's a noticeable resistance level. So first target 29.93, which lines up with the previous high. Next target gap fill is going to be 33.03. Nope, 33 bucks. And extension target 1 to 1.618. We're looking at 35.61. Those are the targets I'm looking at. 40 bucks. I might, by the time if we ever do get to 40 bucks, I probably have a very small portion. But exit, I'm looking at 30, which makes sense. Then gap fill 33. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to be coming out with, or over the weekend, there's going to be a couple of videos coming out. I've decided on one, answering some of your questions on what indicators to use. It's going to be a relatively long video on beginners. I will most likely split it up into two parts. So for those of you that are looking for specific topics, it'll be a bit easier to find. As well, there is going to be another video for introduction wise. Gonna talk a little bit about myself and talk about my journey, and so look forward to that. I will see you guys tomorrow, and good night guys.